Okay, so it seems like another pretty popular VTuber is now back and in the space, and yeah, it's a pretty interesting one. She's recently opened up about some pretty interesting kind of things that have happened to her, and this is about the VTuber Yuyu. Now, obviously, I'm sorry if I said that wrong. That's as close as I could get to the pronunciation. But again, obviously, yeah, they've got over 106,000 subs over on YouTube, and they've been doing great. I mean, you know, their videos have been doing pretty insane. I love the more Pegasus style thumbnail that they got there. It's absolutely insane. But yeah, obviously, recently they actually went live and had a little stream where they talked about self-reflection, where they actually talked about a big like plethora of things to just do with them and streaming and everything in between, right? And obviously, they then obviously want to talk about a situation which obviously led them, which obviously adds up into why they decided to take a little bit of a break. Obviously, it's been 6 months or so since the last video. So again, obviously, this was one of the reasons why they were away, obviously with some other reasons as well, which she states in the stream. But obviously, yeah, let's just play the clip and then we can, yeah, talk about it.
About my personal life again, much less show you any of myself or my dog or my kitchen, like on camera. And that is because I started receiving recurrent emails from a couple of individuals who were very dead set, not maliciously, but dead set on finding out everything about me.
First of all, just to put it out there, most of the time, finding out someone's address or finding out personal stuff about you usually is malicious. I'm gonna be real. But obviously, you know, that's her feeling on it. She doesn't feel like it is malicious. But again, usually there is, not exactly the best intent whenever people are trying to find your address. But again, obviously, she says that it's not malicious. So I guess that's how she feels about it.
I have to word this very carefully. I was providing a lot of information at the time, like updates essentially on stream about how I was doing physically and the places I had to go to get checked out. And my personal details were being narrowed down day by day. And these were like recurrent emails.
And also, if you don't know, for context, it seems like she's been going through some medical kind of stuff. So she's been like, into hospitals and places like that. And it seems like what they've been doing is they've been tracking down her based off things she's saying about her trips to the hospital or to the doctors or whatever you guys call it in America. I'm not sure. But again, obviously, it seems that they've been narrowing it down through a lot of those different kind of records and things like that, which is pretty insane.
It got really bad to the point that I just stopped posting updates on socials, and that is why I was very silent for the period of a few months.
And obviously, I don't blame her for that. Obviously, if that is the reason you're being tracked down, people are trying to find you, is because of the updates that you're giving to your audience. Obviously, it does suck because some, VTubers or some creators or whatever, they find kind of comfort in giving everyone updates on how they're doing and stuff. And obviously, we've had many people do that in the past, right? But obviously, yeah, whenever you give a little bit too much detail, sometimes, yeah, people will go out of their way to do weird things like this. And yeah, it's not very great.
And I think it's okay to talk about now because it's been so long. And also because I am in kind of a interesting position, both due to my circumstances and due to my own fault. Like, as you know, I'm an independent streamer. I don't have reliable sources or a company or a manager to report anything to. I don't have coworkers that I can really share in these experiences with. And I also don't have really many friends, and that is my own fault.
And obviously that's quite sad, you know. It could always suck whenever, you know, you got something really bad going on, whether it's stalkers or whether it's literally just anything. You know, it doesn't have to be super malicious. It just could be a bad time in your life, right? And you don't have like those, you know, people in an agency or whatever that can help you out, or friends or whatever. And I think that does suck. And I think that that is one of the drawbacks whenever it comes to being an indie VTuber. I'm going to be honest. You know, if you don't have you know, a lot of friends in the community, then sometimes it can be very tough to get help and get, you know, the kind of justice towards a lot of these people that have been obviously tracking her, and just some kind of emotional support as well. It doesn't even have to be like physical, like legal action or anything like that. It could literally just be like just talking about it with a friend, right? And obviously that can suck. That does highlight a lot of the issues with indie VTuber and why a lot of people do sometimes avoid it, because sometimes they can't get, you know, the kind of help that they would need in a situation like this.
And I handle all of my correspondences myself. And it got so bad. I'm thinking about like this example that I want to provide right now. And it's so very hard because common sense, as somebody in this space will tell you, is just if you get messages like that, you don't reply to them, obviously, and I never did.
No.
But you also never bring them up in public ever.
Yeah.
I feel very nervous doing so, but it was so bad. My disease process was being hypothesized upon repeatedly, in detail, by someone who clearly had a lot of insight, both into anatomy and physiology, as well as the resources available to me in my general geographic area. And it got very, very specific. Specifically because where I live, it's a bit different from the US in that we have a public healthcare system. So all of our systems, all of our networks, our health authorities, all of the care locations, facilities, they are all kind of intertwined. And
so yeah, obviously, as you can tell here, this person who was obviously stalking them, or people that were stalking them, right? They were, and I think this is why she's trying to say it's not malicious, maybe because she thinks that, you know, obviously they're trying to help them in terms of this, but it seems like they had a lot of information about whatever medical problem she was going through, right? And they were then offering advice to her about that based off the information that they managed to obtain through either like hospital records and things like that, and also what she was saying, and then looking up kind of medical facilities and areas nearby that would obviously be able to provide the treatment that they suggested, right? And that's extremely creepy. You know, no fan, no person online should be doing that. No one should be telling you, you know, how to fix your medical issue or whatever, right? You should just be listening to whatever doctor you're going to in your area, and obviously go from there, right? But obviously this person is so invested in this that they were trying to, yeah, like look up some things about how they could help her in terms of, you know, a lot of her medical issues, which is pretty crazy. I mean, I couldn't even imagine that. That's mental.
because the budget is more limited, a lot of facilities are put together in the same place. And it's also very like organized by municipalities. So each city gets like one specific center of this sort, and that's it. And they're all pretty condensed together, but because it's all run by the same people up above, right? That's how specific it got. And, you know, I can say right now, like, that emailer could be wrong, that he could be right. I'm not going to say which. It's terrifying either way.
Yeah. which is 100% true. You know, it's terrifying to have any of that happen to you, whether they're right or wrong. You know, them like suggesting places in your area. Like, imagine someone random on the internet was just suggesting like hospitals and places to visit in your area, just randomly, which I think is just crazy. Obviously, she goes on to say in the stream that there was no actual direct threat. There wasn't any like threatening tone, but it was a kind of, yeah, sick kind of caring tone with the individual wanting to help and wanting to be my boyfriend, basically. And I think that is essentially what it comes down to, you know? I don't think it was one of these people who was genuinely just concerned about her health. Well, they obviously were concerned about her health, but obviously they're not just there just to provide, you know, kind of helpful information, right? I feel like there's some kind of ulterior motive. For example, yeah, wanting to like be her boyfriend or something like that. Like, oh, maybe if I help her at the hospital or whatever, then maybe she could accept me, right? Which I think, yeah, is pretty crazy. And obviously, it's not you know, something that you should be doing at all. Obviously, she says this experience she felt like was a threat to her personal safety and made her seriously consider quitting streaming altogether. And obviously, I don't blame her. You know, obviously, it's a terrible thing to go through, and I think a lot of people will quit streaming after, you know, getting an email like that. That is pretty, yeah, just insane. But again, I hope that things are all good now. And obviously, she says she ultimately realized that there were some things that she couldn't control, and that she needs to do what makes her happy, leading her to the decision to proceed with IRL content despite the risks. Which, yeah, obviously, I think is great that she's continuing streaming and that she's continuing doing a lot of the content that she loves. Hopefully, you know, she's managed to kind of get some help with this. I'm not sure if she has. Obviously, she says that she didn't have very many contacts. But again, if more of this stuff kind of pops up, she should definitely speak to someone, whether it's just the police or anyone like that. Because again, it's incredibly weird to be looking at other people's medical records, providing them kind of feedback and kind of advice based off of their own information, right? I just think it's incredibly odd. And obviously, this definitely seems like a kind of, you know, stalker case. And obviously, you know, she says the fact that it was a couple of people as well. So I don't think it was just this one person. I think there's multiple people that have been kind of targeting her, which just sucks. And obviously, yeah, I mean, it's just horrible. But yeah, I mean, she's back to streaming now. It seems like she's got a couple of streams scheduled for like Silent Hill and things like that. So again, obviously go and support her, because again, it seems like she is starting up streaming again, doing some really cool stuff. She's doing some IRL cookie streams as well, which is great to see. And yeah, obviously she's been affected by health and stuff, which is you know, obviously affected her in terms of being able to stream. But yeah, she is back. She's making a lot of streams, and yeah, go and support her, guys, because again, she seems like a very nice person. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kaza, get 10% off again. They've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.